Hello everyone, in today's video I'll show you how to crochet this flower tapestry crochet Kindle case. This is a basic size Kindle, but I will explain how to do it on any other size like your iPad, laptop, or even bigger Kindle. So without further ado, let's get into the video. And to make this, you will need two colors. I have Friends Cotton Double Knit, which is 8/8, in two colors, this pink and beige. Then you will need needle, scissors, and 4mm hook. Now, if you are making something different, the first thing you will need to figure out is what size your final piece is going to be. So for me, for example, I have this Kindle which I worked sideways, so it's worked sideways up until here and then the same on the back. And I know that my Kindle is 25 stitches wide and 40 rows for both sides, and this is what I have here. You need to know this before you can draw on a pattern that you want to do. So I did my back side as a plain 20 rows, and for these 20 rows I did this flower pattern, which I'll show you how I did. But yeah, if you are making something different like iPad or laptop, you want to figure out which way you will be working, whether it's this way and how many stitches you need as well as how many rows, and then from there you can kind of draw on your pattern. So let's jump into that and I'll show you how I do it. Now, to create design, you want to type in stitch fiddle, go onto the website, select crochet, then go for a crochet color work, no preference or pick your own yarn, and then choose empty. Then I'm gonna put in 25 stitches where the columns are and leave 20 as the rows because that's what I need. You will be left with this grid where you can pick a color and draw anything you want. Here's me just doing a little wonky heart to show you how you would be going around the design. But yeah, once you're done with your design, you will then be following it. So this is the design I will be doing today. If you want to screenshot it, if you are following the same exact, but basically you see from 1 to 25 on the bottom, these are your stitches, and then you see odd and even numbers on each side. So where you see 1, 3, 5, and so on, you will be following from right to left. Where you see your even rows, 2, 4, 6, and so on, you will be following from left to right. Now, once you've got your gauge and how many stitches you need for your full working panel, you can grab your yarn and do as many chains as you need. For the Kindle, the basic size that I did, I made a slip knot and chained 26. To chain, you want to yarn over and pull through the loop on your hook 26 times. And I've got my chain here. Now if I grab the actual piece, you will see that the chain is actually longer than the piece itself, and this is because when you do your stitches, it most likely gonna be shorter than the chain itself. So you don't want to measure the chain towards whatever length you need. You will need to do a gauge swatch to see how many stitches measure to whatever amount. I usually do 10 single crochets for some rows and measure that to determine how many stitches I will need. So yeah, just don't go by the length of chain because it's gonna be shorter. Once you've got your chain, you want to start into the second chain from your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2 to do a single crochet. And this is what you will repeat in all chains, which will leave you with 25 single crochets in total. At the end of your row, chain 1, turn, and you will now repeat this row until you have 20 in total. Go into every single stitch like this and make 25 single crochets. Don't forget to chain 1 at the end of each row, turn and repeat. So I'm gonna do my 20 rows and I will meet you at the end for the flower pattern. And now I have 2 rows done. Just wanted to show you the difference. This is now much closer to the length of my Kindle case, comparing that length of a chain, but it is still a bit longer because I lose some by doing the side and the bottom, basically by slip stitching it. So yeah, just wanted to show that you shouldn't be going by the length of a chain because it's definitely gonna be different. And now I have my 20 rows done for the back side of my Kindle. This is how it looks, and this is where I will start my tapestry pattern, meaning that I will be now changing colors to create those flowers. So if you look into this graph, first row, so the very bottom one from right to left, you will be looking in the row where the number is. So if the number 1 is on the right, you will be following the row from the right, if that makes sense. And as you can see, the first row is gonna be 2 stitches in second color, 1 in this base, then 4, 13, 4 and 1, and then we will follow row 2 above from left to right and so on. So I'm going to show you this, and then you can follow this graph to complete the rest. But basically I need the color to be in this very first stitch, so I'm just going to go back to the last single crochet. I'm going to undo it, then go in again, yarn over and pull up a loop like so. So I have 2 loops on my hook. I'm gonna grab new color, put it around my hook and pull it through, then chain 1 and turn my work. And now I need to do 2 single crochets, so I'm gonna go into the first one and do single crochet and into the next one, but do not pull it through because again we need the base color in this next stitch. So I'm gonna drop this pink, and this is my right side, so I will keep my tails on the wrong side, meaning I'm gonna pick this one to finish this stitch, pull it tight and do single crochet in next with this color, but again don't pull it through because we will change color again. So you are changing color on the previous stitch, that still needs to be in this color. So this single crochet will be in this color, but I need to change it again. So I'm gonna drop the page, pick up the pink and pull it through. So by doing this, you can see that the single crochet is still in white, but it's gonna be pink for the next one. So now I need 4 single crochets in pink. I'm gonna go ahead and do 4 in pink. Meaning that on the last one I'm gonna change color. So again, I'm dropping the pink, picking up the page, and I'm not carrying the yarn underneath. I'm basically picking up where it ended, so it's gonna create those stripes on the wrong side, but that's okay because this is going to be inside of our case. So I'm just gonna pull through this one, tighten up the pink. And now for the next 13 stitches, I'm gonna be doing single crochets in this color. Once you come to an end, you should have 5 stitches left, so you can count 13 or 5 from the end, and this is my 13th, so I'm not pulling it through because I will change color. But before I can do so, you can either grab this one and have it floating like this, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna estimate how much of this pink I need for one flower that I have. For this one, I'm gonna cut it off and rejoin it for this flower. Once I move up, I'm gonna do the same for the middle one, and by the time I finish these 2, I will be doing the top 2. So I'm always gonna have different kind of little ball for each flower because I don't want this big of a float. You could of course have it under your stitches, but I then don't like how it transfers on the right side, and I prefer the clean look of having the yarn floating on the back side, especially when this is not going to be very visible due to it being inside. So I'm going to grab this pink now, and I'm going to just grab enough for one flower, which is not that much to be fair, because it's only some single crochets. So I'm just going to grab what I think is enough, more than what I think is enough, just to make sure that I have right amount. I'm gonna cut it off. You could of course do like 10 single crochets, see how much yarn that needs and estimate it that way. I'm just doing it the quick way, but now that I've finished this one that I'm gonna be using for this flower here, I'm gonna join it again for the flower in this left corner. So you want to pull it through, tighten it up, and do 4 single crochets in this color. On the 4th one, do not pull it through, drop this pink, grab your beige, which we always will be carrying with us on the wrong side because we often use that, so pull it through to change and do single crochet in the very last one, like so. So that's your first row done. This is how it looks. And now once you chain 1, turn your work, and it's our wrong side of the work. So this time when we work on even numbers, row 2, 4, 6 and so on, we will be having our yarn in this side. So rather than having it dropped on this side, you want to keep them forward so that this side is clean and it doesn't show any tails. And now if you look at row 2, you are following from left to right. So we have 1 single crochet in beige, then 4 in second color, 1 in beige, 2 in second color, and so on. So let's do that. And my first stitch is single crochet in this color, so I'm gonna go in and pull through the loop like so. I'm not gonna finish it because again we will need pink again, so I'm gonna bring this tail forward. I'm gonna pick up the pink and I'm gonna pull it through to change color. And now for the next 4 stitches, you want to do single crochet in this pink. On the 4th one, again, bring your tail forward, grab your beige and pull it through. And we only need 1 stitch, so go in, pull up a loop, and again, bring your tail forward, change it, and bring pink through. Now in the pink, we need 2 stitches, so make 1, and your second one like so, so we can change color again. Pull it through. Now for the next 11 stitches, you will be doing 11 single crochets in your main color. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. And on my last 11th one, I'm just gonna pull it through so I can change color. So I'm bringing the beige in front, grabbing the pink, and I have the next 6 stitches in this pink. So do 6 single crochets basically till the very end. Chain 1, and I'm gonna stop here for a bit to untangle my yarn, because with each row it basically tangles together. So you want to take your time and kind of separate them all. It's gonna be much easier than to try and pull on the yarn while it's tangled. So just take your time, separate it all like so, and then once you chained 1, you can grab your work and turn it. Now row 3 is again from right to left, and I can see that I need 3 stitches in this pink, so I'm just gonna go and make 1, 2, and 3, which I'm not gonna finish. I'm gonna drop the tail, which is again to the back because we are on the right side, and I'm gonna pick up this page, pull it through, and you can see sometimes the yarn is more far away from where you need to change it, so don't pull it too tight because it's gonna misshapen your work. But yeah, just try to keep it a bit looser. And then I need 2 single crochets in this color, so I'm gonna go and make my first one. That's 1 and 2, which I'm not gonna finish. I'm gonna drop this color to the back and grab my pink, pull it through, and I need 3 stitches. So 1, 2, and 3, leaving the 2 loops and grabbing the main color, pull it through, and now I will be doing 8 single crochets in this color. On my 8th stitch, I'm gonna change color to pink, and I'm gonna do 7 single crochets in this color. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, leaving like this, then grabbing again our page, pulling it through, making sure that it doesn't scrunch it up so that it is loose, and then doing the last 2 stitches in this color. 1 and 2. I'm not finishing this one because for row 4 it immediately starts with pink, so I need to change it on this stitch. So I'm just gonna drop it, pick up the pink one, and pull it through, chain 1, turn your work, and for row 4 we have 3 stitches in pink. So 1 stitch, 2, and on 3rd one I'm gonna change color. Again, you are on the wrong side, so you will keep your tails in front, then grab your beige, pull it through, and it's 2 stitches in this color. So 1, and my 2nd one is gonna be where I change the color. So again, I'm pulling this to the front, grabbing the pink, and I'm gonna do 4 stitches now. 1, 2, 3, and on my 4th I'm changing color. So again, I'm pulling this to the front, grabbing this beige and pulling it through. Then I'm gonna do 7 stitches in this beige. And on my 7th stitch, I'm gonna change color again, which is this one. I'm gonna pull it through and do 4 single crochets in this color. On the 4th stitch, I'm gonna change color again, pull it through, and it's 2 stitches that I need to do. So in the next 2, I'm gonna go with this beige. On the 2nd one, I'm gonna change, and I'm gonna finish off by doing 3 single crochets in this pink. And if you look on row 5, it then again starts with beige, so I'm gonna change color on this last stitch, and then chain 1. This is what it looks so far. It is going to be a bit wonky because you constantly change colors and it's quite hard to keep the same tension throughout when changing the color, but it's still gonna be looking nice at the very end. So now I'm gonna leave you to it and you will be following the rows the same way we did. When you are on the right side, you keep your tails on the back. When you're working from the wrong side, you keep your tails to the front. I hope this makes sense, but yeah, once you change the color, you will look at row 5, which is on this side. So you will do 2 single crochets in beige, the rest in pink, and so on until you come to the other end. So I hope this makes sense. Do your rows until you finish all 20, which is folded gonna be your front side, and I will meet you at the very end. And once you're done, this is how it will look all together. So it is a bit wonky, but it's gonna straighten out. So at the end of your last row, you want to chain 1 and cut all of the yarns that you have. Pull it through, and you will now need to hide all of those tails. So I'm just gonna show you how I do it with one of them. Let's say this pink one. I'm just gonna grab it, insert it into my needle, and I'm obviously gonna go into the pink part for the pink tails, and for the white ones, which I don't have that many, it's only 2, I'm gonna go into the white parts. So to hide the tails, you want to go in with your needle on the wrong side under some stitches, like so. And you want to repeat this in as many ways as you can to make sure that they do stay weaved in. So I'm gonna repeat this with all of those tails, going under some stitches one way and then back the other. This is it for this one. I'm gonna cut it off and then repeat the same with all of these. Now once you do have all of your tails hidden, you want to fold this in half, and we will start joining it from this corner. So you fold it right sides in, grab it from this corner here, and put your hook into the very side. Grab your main color, pull it through, chain 1 to secure, and we will be doing slip stitches to join it together. So this is the side of your work and these are not the stitches, so you just kind of find a spot and just go through both layers, pick up a loop and do a slip stitch like so. This is what you will repeat along this bottom side up until here. So I'm just gonna go in and do this. And it can sometimes be quite hard to put the hook through, so just do your best at trying to find that spot. But yeah, I'm just gonna repeat this till I reach my next corner and I'll show you what to do next. And now once you are at the end, you will be doing the same exact thing but going into the stitches now, because this is the end of our row as well as the beginning. So find your first stitch of the last row, going through both loops, then into the foundation chain. Oops. Pull the yarn through and do a slip stitch, and repeat in every single stitch till you come to the very top. And it is a bit easier because these are the stitches, so it's easier to align it correctly as well as to go through with those slip stitches. But yeah, this is what I'm gonna repeat till the very top, and then I'll show you what to do next. Once you are at the end here, you want to just chain 1 and now slip it inside out. So I'm just gonna pull up a big loop and I'm gonna turn it inside out. Put your hook back in, and what you want to do now is single crochet around this opening to make it a bit cleaner. So you chained one already and you just simply want to go in and do single crochets around. So it's total of 40 rows, and we roughly are placing 1 single crochet for each row, so you should end up with 40 single crochets on both sides. Don't worry if you don't, as long as it's not too tight and spread evenly, you should be okay. So don't worry about the number, but yeah, just go ahead and single crochet around. At the end, when you come all around, you want to find your first single crochet, pull up a loop and do a slip stitch. And for another round, I'm just going to do slip stitches all around to kind of tighten up the top so that the kindle doesn't slide out. And this is basically just going into every single stitch and doing a slip stitch like so. At the end, you want to find your first slip stitch and do a slip stitch. To join it together, chain 1, cut your yarn off, hide your tails, and this is it. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, don't forget to hit subscribe, like this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Thank you.